Good morning, Mr. This is you. Wake up. So today we're gonna work on law of cosine. We use law of cosine for side angle, side and side. So today we're gonna do those application. How to solve a triangle when using law of cosine. One thing you have to be aware of when using law of cosine, you need to know how to use order of operation properly, because law of cosine can be very tricky in this instance. Also, when using law of cosine, it's kind of little body of Pythagorean theorem. As you can see, a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. That's a part of the Pythagorean theorem, and you multiply by the negative 2 times 2 of this side, multiply those numbers and cosine of that angle. Assume that angle will be given to you. So in this case, that's what you will have to do. So one thing you will need to have your calculator handy when using law of cosine. So that's going to be my best tip. So but for using law of cosine, I have my one side, I have the angle, and I have the other side, that will be side angle side. So I will be able to find B. Since I'm looking for B, I'm going to use this part. So I will set it as B squared equal to A squared. In this case, A is 7, that will be 7 squared plus C squared. C is 5, U squared 5 minus 2 times 7 times 5, and cosine B is 100. You replace 100. Then that's how you set it up. Then you will have to use order of operation to get your answer. One thing you have to be aware of, when the angle is more than 90 degrees, this number is going to be negative. So that's going to be a negative number, and you're going to multiply by another negative. The entire thing is going to become positive. So all of those two numbers are going to be positive. Be aware of that. However, if that number is less than 90 degrees, is an acute angle that's going to be positive, then you multiply this by negative. All of this part going to be negative. So you have to be aware of that. So let's continue. You will have B squared is equal to 49. 7 squared is 49. 5 squared is 25. 7 times 5 is 35. Times 2, that will give you minus 70. Times cosine of 100. So you're going to use your calculator. That is when you need your calculator to be handy. So I'm going to put 100 in the calculator and press cosine of that. In this case, it's going to give me a negative number, 0.173648, and I'm going to multiply this by negative 70. It's going to give me, I will have B squared is equal to 49 plus 25 plus 12.1553 7244. I insert everything that I've in the calculator, plus 49 plus 25, and I get B squared happen to be 86.15537244. Then I'm going to take square root of each side, and that will tell me what B is. In this case, that's what I will find for B. When I take the square root of that, I find B to be 9.281991836. This is the actual number that I find for B when I take square root of B. Then if you want this to the nearest 10, that would be 9.3. Be careful, do not use 9.3 because it's an estimate number. This is what you want to. Remember, you have to come here. When you compute that, that's what you have to use as a reference number. So B is 9.3 when you round it, but I will put 92819,199, right? But the round value is 9.3. So we get that. Now we will have to find one other angle. If I can find either angle A or angle C, I will be in business. Alright, then I will see if I can find angle A. In this case, I will use this formula where it says A squared. Alright, that's what I will use. Alright, then I will have A squared. I will set it as A squared, which is 7. We'll have 7 squared. Alright, is equal to 5 squared. Alright, that my C squared plus B squared. I already know what B squared is. B squared was this number, that's what I'm going to answer. 86.1554 at least. That's what it is. Minus 2 times 5, right? Then I'm going to use this number 928, right? 928, and that will be cos A, right? So this will give me 49 is equal to 5 squared is 25, that was B squared. I'm going to insert this 86.54, and I'm going to multiply those. Right? That will be 9.28199. Alright, 1836 times 5 times 2 dot negative. This is going to give me negative 92.8199. That will be cos A. Alright, be careful. This is going to give you 49. And you're going to add those two numbers equal. That will be 25 plus 86.1554. That's going to give me 111.1554 minus. Alright, do not subtract those. This is your variable. That will be 928199 cosine A. This is your variable. Since you are using order of operation, you're going to subtract 111 from each side. 1554. You're going to subtract that and it's going to become negative. Is equal to 928199 cos A. Alright, this is negative plus 49. This is going to give you negative 62.1554 is equal to, alright, let's get some space up. That the messy part of log cosine, you have to do a lot of calculation. So this is going to negative 62.1554 is equal to negative 92.8199. That will be cos A. In order to get cos A by itself, if I move side by that number, negative 92.899 you do the same thing. When you divide to negative, that should be positive. This cancel, then you will end up with cos A equal. Now you take this, you divide it by 92.8199. This become a positive number, and you divide to negative 0.963442. Then since you want cosine of that, you cannot do inverse cosine. Change it to negative. And it will become to this cosine to negative 1. Alright, and you enter this number in your calculator. In this case, to get the answer in your calculator, you're going to press shift, the number in the calculator, and you press cosine, and tell you how many degrees is that. It gives me 47.96, so angle A is 47.96. If on this to any less than, angle A will be 48 degrees. So in this case, since I know angle A is 48 degrees, then I will be able to find angle C. I know angle B is 100, that will be 48. Now I can find angle C. So remember, the triangle in the triangle must add up to 180. Now you go back to prior knowledge. It will be easy to find angle C now. In order to find angle C, you will have 100. Measure of angle C is equal plus 100 plus 48 is equal to 180. So you will have measure of angle C is 148 is equal to 180. Then you're going to subtract 148 from its side. This you could have done that mentally. Then if you take 180, to minus 148 from that should be about 32, I guess. And to math, therefore angle C will be 32. Then we have complete the triangle. We found all of the missing part. So that is the first problem. So the second problem, they give you the information here. Alright, here give you those three sides. Alright, A is 10.5, middle A is 10.5, middle B is 6.3, and C is 12. So we're gonna use law of cosine. We know the three side. Now we need to find the angle. So we're going for the angle. Right, my information. This is C. Little c is 12. It's opposite to capital C, and this is little b is 6.3, and little a is 10.5. That's how you do that. So I'm gonna try to see if I can find angle C. Then I will have c squared. All right, c squared, that will be 12 squared is equal to a squared. A squared is 10.5. 10.5 squared, right, plus 6.3 squared minus 2 times 10.5 times 6.3. That will be cos C. Alright, since I'm looking at the C squared, so your calculator will help you do that. Alright, this is order of operation. You'll end up with 144. Alright, 10.5 squared. You need your calculator. That will give you 110.25. 110.25 plus 6.3 squared. That will give you 39.69, and all of this is multiplication, right? That will be minus, that will be 10.5 times 6.3 times 2, but negative, that will give you negative 132.3, negative 132.3 cos C. Remember, this is 110, this is your variable. Do never subtract this. That would be, now you need to add those two numbers and subtract it to the other side. That would be part. That is tricky when you're using log cosine. So you have 144 equal, then you're going to add those two numbers, 110.25 plus 39.69. This will give you 149.94, right, minus 132.3 cos C. Order of operation, you're going to subtract this on the other side. Leave this alone. This is your variable. Minus 149.94 from inside. Minus 149.94 from inside. Right. Plus 144. That will give you negative 5.94 is equal to negative 132.3 cos C. Then you divide by negative 132.3 on this side. You're going to divide two negative numbers. Then that's going to become positive. No matter what you do, when you divide two negative numbers, it's going to become positive. Divide by 132.3. But negative, that's going to become positive 0.04489, right, 7959. Then I'm going to do inverse cosine. So to do that, you're going to press shift. You press shift cosine. It's going to change to that. And you enter this number in your calculator. As it's already in the calculator, I'm going to press the shift cosine and it's going to tell me that, in this case, tell me angle C is 87.42667. So now I'm going to round it to the nearest tenth. So angle C will be 87.4 degrees. So angle C is 87.4 degrees. So that is one part. Then I'm gonna go back to see if I can find another angle. Angle C should be the largest angle because 12 is the longest side. So if I can find another angle, then I will be able to find the third one easily. So let me see if I can find angle A. So if I'm going to find angle A, there you go what I will do. Then I will have A squared. In this case, A squared, that will be 10.5 squared. And those numbers already there. That will be 10.5 squared. That is not, I do not erase them, is equal, right? I have 10.5 squared equal, right? C squared, that will be 12 squared plus B squared, which is 6.3, minus 2 times C, 12 times 6.3, that will be cosine A. I'm looking for angle A. I already know what 10.5 squared is. I computed earlier. That will be 110.5. That there is nothing at the reason equal 12 squared is 144. 6 squared is somewhere down there, is 6.3 squared is 39.69. Alright, I'm going to multiply those numbers. I will have 12 times 6.3 times 2 but negative. That's going to give me negative 151.2 cos A. Remember, this is 110. Right? This is 110. Now I will have 110 order of operation, and you must add those two numbers, and those are the one you're going to subtract from. I will give you 144 plus 39.69. Then this will give you 183.69 minus 151.2 cos A. Then I'm going to subtract 183.69 from each side. This will cancel, then you will end up, and I can start erase some of those information. I don't need them anymore. Alright, and I have subtract this from there, plus 110.25. I end up with negative 73.44 is equal to negative 151.2 cos A. I'm looking for angle A. Now I can divide both sides by negative 151.2. Once again, I'm divided to negative. It's going to become positive. This cancel, and I will have cos A is equal to a positive number. I will have negative 73.44 divided by 151.2, but negative is going to become positive. Then I get 0.4857 14,286. I keep everything, go around it until the last term. Then I'm going to change that to inverse cosine. I'm going to press shift cosine in my calculator, and it's going to change to that. Right? Then you enter this same number, 4857. This number is already in the calculator. Then that's where I press shift cosine. It will tell me how many degrees in that. In this case, it tells me angle A is 60.9407. I'm going to round that to the nearest 10. Then angle A is 60.9. So angle A is 60.9. So any triangle, if you know two angles, you can always find the third angle. Then I'm going to find angle B, which is missing. Then to find angle B, as you know, is going to be angle B plus angle A 60.9 plus angle C 87.4 as we go to 180. And I will have angle B 87.4 plus that. I will give you 148.3 is equal to 180. Then you subtract 148.3 from each side. And you will see that angle B is 31.65928. Round this to the nearest 10, and goal B will be 31.7 degrees. Then we're done with that baby. Right? 31.7 degrees. You have complete that mystery. So problem number 3. Right? In order to do problem number 3, they are giving you those information. Right? B is 23, C is 18, major of angle A is 173, therefore I'm going to look for side A. Alright, so let's clear some of the information. Of course, one has to do order of operation. And your calculator, as long as you can keep your dot in a row, it's going to make the grade. Yes, it's going to come that. Alright. A squared equal. You start with A squared equal B squared, which is 23. Right. Plus C squared, which is 18. Minus 2 times 23 times 18 cos A, and A is 173 degrees. As you can see, it is an obtuse angle. This is going to be negative. You're going to multiply negative by negative. It's going to become positive. Alright, then you will have A squared is equal 23 squared. Calculator will help you with that. This is 529 plus 18 squared, about 324. Alright, let's see what cosine of 173 is. 173 degrees cosine. That's what I'll find first. That's negative 0.992546. Multiply this by 18, multiply this by 23, and you multiply this by negative 2. Everything is multiplication. Then you will have A squared, right? You will have 529 plus 324. The sense you're going to multiply to negatives is going to become a positive. That's what I want you to be aware of. Times 2 negative, times 23, times 18, and I get this to be 821. 136. I put everything that I find in the calculator. Then I will have A squared equal. I'm going to add all of those. 324 plus 529 plus 821 point something. Then I will end up with 16,174.8214. Alright, that's what I get. Then I'm going to take the square root of that. Then A is about the longest side, 40.924651. That's what it is. When you round it to the nearest tenth, that will be about 40.9. It is about 40.9. And as you can see, it has to make sense. A is a big, is 173 degrees. That's a lot. That's a big angle. Alright. Now I need to find one of the other angle. If I can find the other angle is going to be very small. If you have a triangle, one angle is 173. What left for the other angle is about 7 degrees. So let's see. That's how you need to think. You should be able to predict what the outcome going to be based on your prior knowledge. You remember that the larger the angle is, the greater the angle is, the side opposite to it going to be the longest. So that's the scenario that we're going to explore. The two other angle will be very small. Alright. In this case, let me find angle C. Alright. In order to find angle C, I will have C squared. C squared is 18. You will have 18 squared is equal to 23 squared. Right. Alright, plus a squared. We know what a squared is. We already calculated that. That is why I did not erase it. Alright, a squared is 16.74. 82. Alright, and time minus 2 times 23. Right, and the rounding number for that will be 4092. So I'm not going to use the 40.9 because it's more than that. So be careful when you're doing that. That will be 40.9247. So then that will be cos. I'm looking for angle A, cos A. Alright, that will be cosine A. So be aware of that. Right. Then this book that was 324. We'll have 324 equal 529 plus 1674.82. Right? And those gonna be negative, so be aware of that. That will be negative 46 times that. Right. Time 46 negative, that gives me 188. That will be 1882.5346 cos A. Then I will have 324 equal, I need to add those two numbers. That will be 529 plus 1674.8282. That will give me 2203.82 minus 8,882.5346. Remember, you must do order of operation. Then you'll have to subtract this on the other side. You must subtract 2,203.82 from inside. That's going to become a negative number, as you can see. The outcome will be negative 1,179.82 is equal to 1,882.5346. Remember, we assume that going to be a very small angle. Then you will have to divide this both sides by negative 1,882.5346. We do that on both sides, and you're going to divide two negative numbers. Therefore, it's going to be positive. calculator work, you will have this to be 0.998562364. Then we're gonna do inverse cosine. Inverse cosine, do shift, it's gonna change to that, and you enter this in your calculator. 0.998562364. I use everything. Then I'm gonna press my shift cosine, and it tell me is 3 point, like we predicted, it's gonna be very small angle, 3.07265. So we're gonna round this to the nearest 10. That would be 3.1 degree, which is really small angle. So angle A is 3.1 degrees. Right? First that angle A, that's to be angle C. Angle C, not A, angle C. So angle A was 173, angle C is 3.1 degree, then angle B will be very easy to find, and we're going to add that to 173 and to math, subtract this from 180. Alright, 173 lost 3.1. Alright, subtract this from 180. Angle B is 3.9 as we predicted. Those two angles will add up to 7 degrees. Then we're done with this problem. So let's do one more problem. Then we call it equate. As you can see, law of cosine can be very, very quick, very challenging if you don't know what you're doing, especially with order of operation, and you have to be aware what you're doing. Alright, this is the last problem until we meet again in law of cosine. So if you can follow those directions, and I know you will do well. Once again, they give you the three sides. That will be side. Side A is 35. Right, the length of A is 35. Right. B is 42. And C is 50.5. Therefore, angle C will be the largest angle out of the three angles. So be aware of that. Once you know those information, so you expect what to get. So let's find angle C first, and that will be C squared. That will be 50.3 squared. Right, 50.3 squared equal A squared, which is 35 squared, plus B squared, 42 squared. These go into the huge numbers, minus 2 times 35 times 42. Right, that will be cos C. We're looking for angle C. Right. Then your calculator, 50.3. You square that, that's going to give me 2,530.09 equal to 35 squared, 1,225 plus 42 squared. that will be 1764. Then we're going to multiply 35 times 42. 35 times 42 times -2. That's going to give me 22,940. That will be cos C. Then I'm going to continue with my order of operation. So remember, we have to add those two numbers. So you will have 25, 30.09. Then we're going to add 1225 plus 1764 is going to give me 22,989 cos 2,940 cos C. Order of operation, I'm going to subtract 2,980 from each side. That's going to become negative. That gives me negative 485.91 is equal to negative 2,940 cos C. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 22,940. As you can see, when you multiply two negative, it's going to become positive. Right? This cancel, then you will have cos C is equal to divided by 2940 but negative. That's going to give me 0.165 to 75.51. Then to find the angle, I'm going to do inverse cosine. That will be shift cosine. I'm going to press my shift, and cosine is going to change it to inverse cosine for me. Since I'm looking for an angle, then I'm going to enter this to the calculator as is. It's already in my calculator. For showing purposes, I'm just doing that. Then I press shift cosine, then it will tell me what angle C is. Angle C is 80.5 degrees. So I will have 84.867. I'm going to round this to the nearest tenth. Then I will find angle C to be 80.5 degrees. Angle C is 80.5 degrees. Now I need to the nearest tenth. So I need to find another angle. Once I can find another angle, I will be able to find the other one. Once again, I'm not going to erase this part. I'm going to keep this part because I'm going to use those numbers again. So that is essential to keep them. Alright, I'm going to look for angle B. Alright, that will be B squared. That will be 42 squared. Alright, B squared, 42 squared was that. That will be 1764 is equal to 1025 plus 2530.09. That is reason I did not erase them. Now I'm done with this part, then I can erase them. So, right. This is my B squared, this is my A squared, this is my C squared minus. cosine B. I'm looking for angle B. Alright. IA is 35. Now we'll put 35 here. Alright, and my C is 50. I'm going to put 50.3 here. So I can go and do my order of operation. So those are the information that I have. Alright. Then I will have 17, 6, 4. I'm going to add those two numbers. That would be 1225 plus 25, 30.09. You have to add those two. You will end up with 3,755.09. Then those are multiplication. I'm going to multiply that. I will be negative 70. If I have negative 70 times 50.3, that will give me negative 3,521 cos B. So let me try that again. 2 times 2 times 50.3 times 35. That's correct. Then I'm going to subtract 3,755.09 from each side of the operation. 3,755.09. 1764 minus 3,755.09, and I get 1,991.09 negative equal to 3,521 cos B. I am going to divide both sides by negative 3,521 negative 3,521, and this is going to become a positive number. We divide to negative, divide by 3,521, but negative, that's to 0.56548991.8. Then I'm going to do inverse cosine, shift cosine. I'm going to press shift cosine. It's going to change to inverse cosine. Then I will have this in my calculator. Then I'm going to enter this number just for show purposes. It's already in my calculator. You press shift cosine. Tell me angle B is 55.56 degrees. I'm going to round this to the nearest 10. It's about 55.6 degrees. Alright. Then it will be easy to find angle A. So if you know triangle, you need triangle, you can always find the third angle. I'm going to add those two. Just 80.5. Alright, and I will subtract that from 180. It's going to tell me what angle A is. In this case, angle A is 43.9 degrees. If you add those two angles, must add up to 180. Once again, that was Mr. This in law of cosine. Remember, use law of cosine for sine angle side, side angle side, or side side side. Remember, you must have a scientific calculator. You cannot live without it. That was Mr. This. Like, subscribe, and share, and do make the grade.